The views and opinions expressed here are solely those of the author and do not necessarily reflect the views of Cointelegraph.com. Every investment and trading move involves risk. You should conduct your own research when making a decision. The market data is provided by the HIT-BTC exchange. Last week, the relatively low volatility in the cryptocurrency market came to an end. Just about all cryptocurrencies dumped together with sharp declines, triggering renewed fear among traders and investors. As always, a bottom, at least temporarily, was eventually found, leading to bounces across the board. On the other hand, global equity markets were relatively stable and mostly holding above the support, following sharp drops in previous weeks. In most cases, major stock markets continue to evolve a potential bottom other than India, which as of last week has fallen through key support levels. Global equity markets, holding steady. German DAX index and S. At the start of the week, the DAX fell to a new trend low of 11,831.0 before seeing support around the long-term uptrend line and prior swing low from August. It quickly reversed intraday to close at the high of the day. Nevertheless, it remains in a downtrend following a breakdown from a bear flag trend continuation signal 2 weeks ago. The UK FTSE Index and Shanghai Composite saw modest gains of 2.19% to 7,224.50 and 1.62% to 3,307.17, respectively. The trendline resistance remains above the FTSE, and it has been tested several times in recent weeks and stopped in advance. This puts the index at risk of falling below last week's low of 7,062.10. At the same time, a potential bullish double bottom has formed. However, it is not confirmed unless there is a rally above the 2-week high at 7,326. Hang Seng, pointing higher since falling from the January peak of 33,484.1. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index has found support twice around the long-term uptrend line and it continues to hold. Last week's low of 29,852.40 was the second time that the index bounced off the support area around the line. This tells us to keep an eye on the line going forward for signs of a change in the relationship between the price and the line. In addition, notice that the brown 100-day moving average (MA) support line on the enclosed chart has been parallel to the trend line for a year. The 100-day MA is currently at 30,081.39. The Hang Seng's most likely next upside target looks to be around 32,522.1, 32,552.1. That's where an ABCD pattern completes, and the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement is hit, respectively. If a drop below last week's low occurs instead, then the index first heads towards the most recent swing low of 29,129.30 at A, followed by a price zone around 28,588.50 to 28.495.77, which identified from the prior resistance peak in May 2015, and the 200-day MA purple line BSE 30 Sen falls through support, and EO's BSE 30 Sen index barely got a bounce following the decline to support of the 100-day MA brown line and 78.6% Fibonacci retracement area in February. Once finding support, the Sen formed a relatively narrow-range rectangle consolidation pattern around support of the MA and both above and below the long-term uptrend line, until last week. That's when the index broke down from the rectangle pattern and below the 100-day MA. Last week, the Sen was the worst performer of the 7 equity indices, falling by 739.80 or 2.17% to close at 33,307.14, just below last week's low of 32,991.14. Is the next key support zone around 32,737 to 32,360, consisting of the 200-day MA and prior support and resistance levels, respectively. Note that a break below the 32,565 swing low from December will violate the uptrend price structure and therefore likely leads to a much deeper correction. Last week's low completed an 88.6% Fibonacci retracement of the prior uptrend. If the last week's high of 34,060.13 can be exceeded to the upside, then the SEN might have a chance of bouncing higher. Until a breakout above last week's high, downward pressure remains dominant. Cryptocurrencies. Rock my world. Cryptocurrency enthusiasts had the world rocked once again last week, with most coins dropping precipitously within a relatively short period of time. There was a confluence of factors that may have contributed to the wave of selling, including hacking. Reports have circulated that trading robot apps connected to Binance, a top cryptocurrency exchange, were hacked. Fear of regulation. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission announces a plan to regulate crypto exchanges as securities exchanges, adding a layer of regulation to the industry operating in the U.S. Large supply. The bankruptcy trustee for Mt. Gox sold approximately $400 MLN of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash since late September, and it is reported there is an estimated $1.08